most fun conspiracy theory about gold?
No.
It's a really good one. It's from the work of Zecharia Sitchin, who was one of the guys who translated the ancient Sumerian texts. And he believed that the human race is a product of accelerated evolution, and that the Sumerian text depicts these godlike beings called the Anunnaki who come here from a planet called Nibiru that's on an elliptical orbit. Every 3,600 years it comes between us and Mars. It causes cataclysms because of the gravity and all the chaos. But that these beings came down here and inserted their DNA into lower primates and created this being. And one of the reasons why it came here is because gold is very difficult to find in the universe. Now, if that's the truth about the Earth only has that much gold, imagine that one of the reasons why these beings gave us this desire to have gold, why gold was so popular always, early on, and it was a useless metal. So what if it was pretty? How come you could buy a house with bags of gold? Shouldn't you have steel for a sword or for arrowheads or something like that? Well, anything would be more valuable. Salt was very valuable.
Yeah.
But this is different because this is like a form of money. Like, why has it universally been regarded as valuable, like really early on? And what he said was that they realized that they could take these suspended particles of gold and put them in their atmosphere, and it would protect them because their atmosphere was eroding. And so this would be like a reflective particles they spray in the atmosphere.
Like what Bill Gates wants to do, where he blocks.
So this is what's crazy about this. This guy wrote about this in the 1970s. He wrote this, what is it called? The 12th Planet, I think. That was the first of them. I think he wrote multiple books on this, on the Sumerian text. But I think it was like the 1970s or somewhere around then, they were having this sort of symposium on what to do in the sense of ozone depletion and climate change. Like, is there a way to suspend reflective particles in the atmosphere to block out some of the harmful rays of the sun? So that was their idea. So what this book is trying to say is the reason why humans are obsessed with gold is because the aliens designed us to mine and get the gold, and then they would use that gold to protect their atmosphere.
So they impregnated us with this idea that gold has value.
Yeah.
Because they need it to enhance their ability to keep living.
Menu Gate, have you heard of that?
Menu Gate?
This is weird. This man, his name is Cody, lives in Atlanta. He walked out of his apartment and noticed every single door in his hallway had a Chinese menu. 3 days later, still there. And he's like, everyone in my hall has not opened their door. And then 5 days, still there. So he went down to the parking garage and looked at the cars, covered in dust. And he's like, that's weird. And then he's like, okay, this is freaking me out a little bit. Went through his whole apartment building, couldn't find a fire. Finally, found one. He's like, I need to know. Pulls it. There's supposed to be 800 people living in this apartment building. No one came out.
Because he had previously checked, he'd gone outside at night, and there were lights on.
Yeah.
Something's going on.
He went out into his local nook where his apartment was. Every coffee shop and place that he went to, there was always one man in there wearing a suit, talking on the phone. He said these men were all saying the same thing into the phone. And he's just like, am I living in a simulation? What is this?
Why did ESPN get a host from the WWE? I mean, it's rigged. Did I just spoil the surprise for some of the people? It's scripted entertainment. What we do is fake, right? So I know what you're thinking. Me hosting the ESPYs, that's crazy. Or is it genius? It's time to take a look at yourself, sports, and realize that you're more like the WWE than you have ever imagined. I'm going to start with the NBA. Cleveland won something. That's actually impossible. There is no way that wasn't scripted. Especially when you look at the whole story. Okay, LeBron. You used to be a good guy, and then you turned into a bad guy, and now you're a good guy again? And you left the NBA hanging. What are they going to do when they don't have a bad guy? Exactly what we do. They're going to make a new one. My hat's off to football, though. They got it right this year. Our beloved hero, He was sidelined. Looks like all hope was lost. Helpless in the clutches of his arch nemesis. But in the moment of truth, Peyton comes off the bench, wins the championship, and rides off into the sunset with the love of his life.
You can see something really weird if you look at a map of the seafloor. It's right there. That is a continent that has almost completely sunk into the ocean. About 85 million years ago, this giant chunk of continental crust called Zealandia broke off from the rest of the land of the Earth around the South Pole. This is where Antarctica is now. And it moved over here, and it sank, and now 94% of it is submerged. Of course, New Zealand and the surrounding islands are the area that's not. But under the ocean, the continent is massive. It's surrounded in the pink, and it's 5 million square kilometers, which is over half the size of Australia. Something that's very cool is that even today you can find fossils of things on New Zealand and Zealandia from when it was attached to the rest of the land on Earth. This is a forest of fossilized tree stumps. That's a Zealandic tree. Zealandia even had native land mammals. Scientists officially call Zealandia a microcontinent, which is controversial because it's 6 times bigger than the next biggest microcontinent, Madagascar. And lots of scientists think that it fulfills every requirement to be its own continent. It's just underwater.
So I came home from the store, and I opened up this gallon of milk, and I poured myself a glass of milk. And then I realized I should have shaken up that milk, so I poured my milk back into the jug. Now my milk jug is full of milk, and I still have this much milk left in my glass! How does it make any sense? Where did all the milk come from?
Like, what is going on here? This is just nuts. So this opening right here was basically discovered a while ago back in China in the rainforest. And well, this opening is a sinkhole. It's just a sinkhole that just appeared. Now, researchers went down into this sinkhole and found something absolutely insane which had never been seen before. Basically, inside of this sinkhole, thousands of feet under the ground, there is literally proof of an ancient civilization and a giant rainforest under the ground. Yeah, so in this rainforest is obviously the one above the ground, and they've just found the one that's under the ground as well, in a flipping cave. Now the craziest part is this had never been seen before. Like, people just probably walked over this hill thinking it's just a hill. But no, it turned into a sinkhole with a rainforest under it. Now it is flipping huge down there, and this is the craziest part of the whole thing. It is so big down there that it actually has its own microclimate. What? Yeah, a sinkhole has its own microclimate. Yeah, so they're looking into this, seeing if there's any other, evidence. Maybe there was even houses down there. Who even flipping knows? People could have lived there thousands of years ago, but follow a button, and I'll keep you updated, because yeah.
There's a theory that Star Wars is actually a simulation and part of the Matrix. In the Attack of the Clones, Kenobi is approached by a dude in the business of dealing. That character is played by Matt Duran, who plays Mouse in the Matrix. And then in the same scene, like 15 seconds later, Anakin's walking by everyone, and a woman pops into frame for a few seconds, gives a very look to Anakin. That woman is Fiona Johnson, the woman in the red dress. The theory is that Mouse was just plugged into the Matrix and was just looking for a friend, and the red dress program is just doing her thing.
With the moon landings, there's so much stuff on TikTok around, say, the wind on the flags and the shadows that make people suspicious as to whether they really happened or not. What's your take on all of that?
So we'll start by the moon landings happened, every one of them. But why does it look like it's staged? Well, again, when you go into space, it looks like a studio. It's the brightest white light. The sun is pure white. It's not yellow. Yet we see it yellow because it comes through our atmosphere, scatters the light, and we get a nice yellow sun. In space, space, it's white. It's a nuclear fusion reaction. It's the whitest, purest white you'll ever get, which means the colors are the purest colors you'll ever get, because that white light is hitting the color and showing you true color. Your shadows are the crispest straight line shadows you'll ever see. It's either black or it's white. So these photographs coming back from the moon, of course they don't look like on Earth.
And the wind?
It's just, that's gravity, but it's not flapping at all. They're static. But if you look at the images coming back from the space station today, you'll see there are flags and bits of paper and stuff, and they've got that kind of crinkle in them. That's just the natural position a material will want to go to in weightlessness.
I mean, you make a very good point. This is a picture shows a 1,000-mile-long alien mothership from Jupiter. A lot of observers are saying, or it's something that's standing still in front of Jupiter, and it's not an asteroid. It's nothing they could figure out. And some people are saying it might be an alien mothership.
1,000-mile long.
1,000-mile-long mothership.
That's huge. Imagine walking that. It's take you a while.
Aliens probably have hoverboards, I imagine.
So Tesla just uploaded a new video showing off the progress of its Optimus robot, which is now running on the same end-to-end neural network as its cars, giving it the ability to process a video input and generate control output. This thing has come a long way in a very short time. Now, I'm not sure how many of you have seen the movie iRobot. It's kind of old at this point. I'm aging myself. But if this thing doesn't give you NS5 vibes,